Hello everyone. I just wanted to show you a quick project that I'm working on and what I'm doing in order to incorporate my art yarn, which is a fishnet yarn, into my project. And so this project as such is pretty simple. It's the Good Karma Cowl by Cali Monster. I'll put a link in the description. And it's essentially, it has some stockinette area, some garter stitch, and it had plain stockinette out here, a slip stitch pattern out here, and then plain stockinette out here, and it ends with more um, garter stitch. And it's knit first flat and then joined and then knit in the round. So what I'm doing is in the flat stockinette portion, the plain stockinette section, I am knitting with my art yarn. So this yarn essentially, it's like it has thin areas, which it's almost like a worsted weight. It's not very thin, but it adds a little bit of texture, and it has these fishnet sections in it, which I actually weave. I don't knit them in. So this is what I wanted to show you. So I'm knitting along, and this pattern is actually free on Ravelry, but the addition of the art yarn is what I'm doing. So this is a row. So I do five rounds, and on the sixth round is when I add my art yarn. So I just go ahead and keep knitting along when I'm knitting along the thin section of my yarn. So I'm doing this slow so you can see what's happening here. And now as soon as my thick section starts, what I do is I move the thick portion of this yarn back and forth by slipping stitches. So I'm going to bring the yarn forward because I wanted to show on the front of my work. Slip 2 stitches. You could slip 2, you could slip 3, depending on what you like. And then I move the yarn back and I slip 1. Because I don't want most of the yarn to hang back, I want to hang front, so just slip. When the yarn is at the back, I just slip 1. Bring it to the front, slip 2, move it to the back, and slip 1. Move it to the front, slip 2, move it to the back, slip 1. Now I check whether I'm reaching the thin section. No, not yet. Maybe do another slip 2 with the yarn in front, move it to the back, and now we are almost back to the thin section. And now I'm going to just knit normally as I was knitting before. So what this creates is that yarn gets trapped in the section, and you can add that little bit of accent to your knitting there, and it works really well. And just continue on when you come up to the next thick section. Now this can be adapted to many different patterns. You could do triangle shawls like this. There is a Stephen West pattern boneyard shawl, which would be really good for this, where it's stockinette section and there's a garter ridge. Instead of the garter ridge, you can just do 1 row of your art yarn, break your yarn, and then go back with your regular yarn again. So it can create these textures between the ridges, which would look really neat. So it's very adaptable to any pattern. Just you could do hats and just add few rows. Now this was a complete 4-ounce braid that I had spun into this fishnet yarn, and I have like barely used anything in the shawl, but it creates a big impact. So I'm looking forward to completing that. Sorry for the camera shakes, but I hope this helps. Take care.